Well, we're finally here, and for any of you who have been following along with this series, you might notice that I've taken 10-hour challenge out of the title, and for any of you that are new, you might be wondering what is this goal or this run that I am doing for Soda Dungeon 2? Well, to answer both of those sort of queries, I'm trying to complete Soda Dungeon 2 as optimally as possible. Now, previously, I thought that this could be done in under 10 hours. While that goal is still somewhat realistic given animation speeds, the problem is scaling. So it's a lot of pressure to sort of theorycraft the run perfectly and maintain all the factors I need to actually accomplish the run within 10 hours. So rather than stick with that 10-hour goal, I think trying to complete Soda Dungeon 2 optimally, or within the correct amount of runs and still the shortest amount of time, is a more apt goal for me to focus on. So then, what do I mean by runs? Well, once you get to Dimension 2, after your first run, you unlock a perk called the Magic Clock. Now this doubles the animation speed of everything in the game for your next 15 runs. This is sort of the timer that I'm working around. So from the point at which we unlock the Magic Clock, I now have 15 runs to actually complete the game in, otherwise I lose the perk of the Magic Clock, which will significantly increase the time it takes to beat the game. So that means the goal now is to prepare optimally in Dimension 1, then complete Dimension 2 in one run, and then complete the rest of the game in those 15 runs, which is the true goal that I'm now using to actually plan and optimize the run. And depending on how I go, I can then sort of tweak how much I do prepare here in Dimension 1, because this does take the majority of the time. So then, what are we doing here in Dimension 1? You may have noticed I've sped through a lot of things while I was sort of talking. I have unlocked the Mystics. That's the big first hurdle for this dimension. So, using the method I used in my any percent run for Dimension 1, we speed through and we unlock the Mystics as soon as possible. The Mystics are very important for the run, because without them you cannot actually use any other class. Mystics are the only class with mana regen and the only class that are able to give mana regen to other classes. So without them, we wouldn't be able to complete the run within those 15 specific runs for the Magic Clock. This means that our first major goal of the dimension is to get the Mystics to 25. Along with that, we must also get the Nurses to 25 to unlock Group Heal, which is a huge time save in animations, and we also must get X amount of gold so that we can unlock certain perks, so that we can sort of try and upscale our group and maintain a sort of threshold that allows us to speed through the following dimensions. Without X health, we cannot actually survive, and this will greatly impact the run. So then, the first trick I'm using is resetting the blacksmith by going to X level. So by going to level 41 and quitting out, I'm able to reset the blacksmith for specific items, and I'm looking for Lucky Clovers, which give a 10% gold find bonus, which is a huge boost to our farming time. And after that, we head to floor 81 to use the same method to force gold shields into the blacksmith shop. Now, gold shields are rather expensive at 925 gold, so you know what they say, you gotta spend money to make money. So I do actually farm from level 61 to 81 so that I can stockpile enough gold to buy the gold shields and upgrade them with blue smithing crystals. So it does take a bit more time than usual to farm everything I need. I am able though to craft frying pans as well, which will help us in the long run because we can use them to generate items and resources to upgrade the kitchen, which is another impactful source of HP. I also continue to upgrade the gold shields all throughout the run, as this is an impactful boost. I believe it's 3% per level, and that's times 6 times 3, so it's equivalent to the gold clovers. In fact, it's slightly better. It's what, 4% better, 64 to 60%. And now for the fun part. I get to farm for roughly 3 hours. So our first major goal is to get 25k to unlock the Dark Mages. After that, 5k for the stables, and then stockpile enough gold to upgrade the kitchen, buy the bag resourcefulness, and unlock inheritance. All of these factors are very important in maintaining our ability to complete the later dimensions, and I do think though I've sort of done a bit overkill on my preparedness, but I want to make sure that I can actually complete the run this time, so I have gone overboard rather than sort of underestimating everything I need. And now, one big factor that I wasn't considering previously was the use of the Dark Mages. So the Dark Mages not only speed up the run in the later dimensions through using Noxen, they actually allow me to farm quicker right now. So with the Dark Mages unlocked, we are able to clear floors in roughly I think it works out to about 4.5 seconds per floor, and in fact you could do it slightly quicker. So first off, by using our item pausing trick, I'm looking for Wooden Staff and 2 magic rings for our Dark Mage. This allows us to continue to clear all the way to floor 59 as we maintain the damage to one-shot all enemies. Now, if we were able to sort of tweak the script, or I could play with frame perfect clicking ability, we'd actually be able to maintain a speed of somewhere between 3.5 seconds to 4.2 seconds a floor, which is a huge improvement over 4.5 in the course of, again, 3 hours of farming. Unfortunately, I cannot adjust the script, and I am not a masochist who wants to try and perfectly click for 3 hours straight, so we do settle for a slightly slower clear time of roughly 4.5 seconds over the course of our run from level 1 all the way to 59 loosely. So we do go to wherever our mana runs out, so this also depends on whether or not we get ambushes, portals, etc. But it's still a good clear time, it's still quicker than if I were to just use the Mystics, even if you were to factor in the fact that you get extra experience having the extra Mystic over the Dark Mage. We are also able to accrue more gold as we can clear further using the Dark Mage, allowing us to increase our stockpile to actually buy the unlocks we need by the end of the dimension. Now, the tactic I'm using here is I'm actually selling off any weapon that is stronger than the Wooden Staff. This allows me to guarantee that the auto-equip will give our Dark Mage the Wooden Staff along with the 2 magic rings, as long as I do hire them before any other unit. So you will, well, you might actually, I'll probably cut it all out. I do hire the Dark Mage before any other class, and I do just sort of mix Mystics and Nurses as I am trying to level both of them up to 25. There is no necessity in getting one before the other. We do not use recharge to sort of extend our run. After that, we get our first major unlock, the Stable. Stable is very important to pick up as early as possible so that we can actually level up the pets. Aside from that, I continue to level up the gold shields by buying blue smithing crystals and then leveling them up to sort of increase our gold gain. It is quite the investment. I think it's around 5,000 gold to hit level 2, and then, as you saw, about 10,000 gold to hit level 3. After that, it's just continue farming until we do hit 25 on the Mystics like we did, and now we can do the same for Nurses. I did unfortunately mess up the timer, so we don't have a completely accurate look at how long it does take to level each class up. I believe it takes roughly an hour. Well, you can do the math. At 4.5 seconds per floor, getting you 5 experience, you can do 5,700 divided by 5 and then times 4.5 to get the overall number of seconds, and that works out, what, roughly 100 minutes, so an hour and a half. We'll call it an hour and a half because it's 57 and I just used 6,000. You get the gist. Other than that, we've got all our gold, so we can start buying and finishing off the run. So we grab the kitchen to level 4, 5, 6 apparently. 7. Wow, I definitely went overkill on the kitchen. We also grabbed Inheritance to level 1, and Bag Resourcefulness to level 2, and Locksmithing. These will definitely help us out. Bag Resourcefulness allows us to take materials, Inheritance allows us to start with gold. And then we just have the Dark Lord to finish off. I almost completely forgot about him, to be honest. So this tacked on another 10 minutes or so. It is still a slow fight even with our levels. Although it's still a very easy fight, all we have to do is continue to focus damage, and we should be able to out DPS him before he can wipe us. Don't worry though, I did cut it. So I'm not going to make you sit through. I still think it's like a 3-minute fight. Yikes. And he teleports away, we get our crystal, and we can leave. Well, not quite. Like usual, I forget a handful of stuff. There is quite a lot to remember for this run. So I also need to smith all of our iron, and that way it doesn't cost us any gold going to later levels. So I did have to farm a little bit extra gold. All throughout the run, I do stockpile iron and wood, so I just buy it from the blacksmith whenever available. This is very important because it obviously allows us to craft in the next dimension and Dimension 3, which are critically important because we do have to clear both those dimensions in the first run, so it definitely helps having some starting equipment. On that, we spend our gold. We make sure to empty the shop again and buy off as many bluesmithing crystals as we can. Bluesmithing crystals are sort of like the way to cheat gold into the next few dimensions, which they do come in handy now and then. I more so use them to level up equipment. I don't think I really struggle with gold because I get inheritance. But there we go. That is Dimension 1 done in 4 hours and 7 minutes. Very long, a lot longer than what I previously had done. It definitely puts us off pace to do the whole run in 10 hours. But again, I want to sort of over prepare and make sure I can actually complete the run. And if there is any time to save, it is here in Dimension 1. The main focal points that come to me straight away are the amount of gold I farm. I don't need the kitchens to the level I do. You can upgrade them later on, but you know, we'll see once I actually complete the run. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, long time coming. Finally, I will complete this run. So yeah.